So what is going to count as my breakfast slash lunch is these 2 salmon patties. I believe they're 120 calories each. I have some tomato and lettuce. I'm going to chop that all up together. I have 3 strawberries that I sliced up. And I have some delicious vegetable beef soup that I made as a meal prep video the other day. So this is what I'm going to be eating right now. Everything is in my prior videos, and I just need to get some food in. Red quinoa salad and vegetable egg grillers is what's on the menu tonight. So step 1, we take our red quinoa. 1/4 cup of this has 160 calories. I took a full cup, I strained it through a mesh strainer. You don't have to have a mesh strainer, but it's a lot easier if you do. You rinse it really well. If you don't have a mesh strainer, just run it under some water and do the old pour out method, being careful not to lose too much of it. And then I cook it in 1.5 cups of chicken broth. So I always cook my quinoa in some kind of chicken or beef broth. I think it gives it a lot more flavor. And I turn it up high, let it boil for about a minute, then I turn it all the way down on low and let it cook for a ½ hour. I don't know what the recommendation is, but that's how I always cook it, and it turns out fine every time. And I have already cooked it. I use the red quinoa. That's the one I like the best, but any quinoa will do. So once you have your quinoa all nice and fluffy and cooked, and this one's cooled down, I'm gonna put that quinoa in a big bowl so I have plenty of room to stir around the vegetables that I have pre-chopped. And the vegetables include, I have some red and orange bell pepper. I have 2 radishes that I diced up. I have about 1/2 cup of onion here, whatever onion you like. I've got a bunch of cherry tomatoes that I diced up pretty fine. I put them on paper towels to let them drain so they're not so soggy. And I have some cucumber right over there somewhere that I'm gonna be putting in there also. So let's go ahead and get things added. Now, I'm also gonna be making one of my favorite breakfasts. It's breakfast grillers using Joseph's lavash wraps. And some of these vegetables are gonna go in there. So I'm gonna use, for this quinoa salad that you can eat hot or cold, however you like it, I'm gonna go ahead and put, let's say, about 1/3 cup of onions in there. I'm gonna put in about 1/3 cup of the chopped bell peppers. I'm gonna put in all 2 radishes, 1/2 of my tomatoes. This was a whole small tub of tomatoes and I just diced them all up. That's what we're working with so far. Next step is 4 tablespoons of Olive Garden light Italian dressing. The calories on that, 2 tablespoons is 30 calories. We're gonna use 4 tablespoons, so that's gonna be 60 calories. 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost forgot to put the cucumber in there. And now we mix all that around. It smells wonderful. Very, very beautiful. If you care what your food looks like, this is where it's at, because this is beautiful. The only thing that I'm gonna add to this is 1/4 cup of feta cheese, and right before I serve it, and you're gonna see it in future videos when I'm eating it, and I'll reference you back to how we made it. I'm gonna add some feta cheese in here, and right before I serve it, I'm gonna put some diced avocado on it to give it a little bit more healthy fat. Oh my God, I almost forgot the olives. We definitely have to add some olives. I have Kalamata olives. 2 tablespoons has 50 calories, and we're just gonna eyeball it. Nice big heaping teaspoon. Another nice big heaping teaspoon, like huge, like 2 tablespoons really. However much you like. That really gives this a little tang. We're gonna add just a sprinkle of lemon juice here, just a sprinkle. I like to wait to put the avocado on until right before I serve it. Guess I can go ahead and add the feta cheese. And this is done. The hardest part is just chopping the vegetables. Get that ready, chop some vegetables, cook your quinoa in some broth to give it some flavor. And this is where it's at. All right, I have my feta cheese. I just pulled this one out of the freezer. I always have a bunch of bags of different cheeses in the freezer. I'm actually gonna measure it. So I have 1/4 cup here. That's going in. By the time I'm actually gonna eat this tomorrow or whenever, that will be melted. Not melted, that'll be like defrosted, thawed. This is so beautiful. If you like a little bit more cheese, just add a little bit more cheese. But when it comes to with a little bit more calories, I do kind of try to sometimes measure those a little bit. Vegetables, that's always just eyeball. All right, you can put that in another container with a lid on, or meal prep containers. This is so much flavor. There's crunch in there, and it was so simple to make. Now, the rest of the vegetables are going in one of my world famous, or city famous, okay, household famous breakfast grillers. This is amazing. It's so good. I got an olive. This couldn't be better. This is so good. Breakfast griller time. Ingredients for that. Step one, we're going to take some canola oil and spray our pan a little bit. And start putting our vegetables in. I'm going to turn it up to medium-high. I have about a half a cup of broccoli, about 2/3 of a cup of zucchini. These measurements do not have to be exact, just whatever you have. Whatever vegetables you have laying around that you can tolerate eating with eggs, that's what it's going to be. Some onion from the recipe we just made. It's so easy when you have it all chopped up, ready to go. We have our 2 colors of bell peppers here. Vegetables. Now we're gonna get them cooking. I'm standing right here with everything, so I'm gonna cook them. I'm gonna start them on high. When they start cooking, we're gonna add 2 ounces of boar's head tavern ham and some liquid egg whites. But there's going to be more after that, so keep watching. I'm not putting my tomatoes in until the end. I want those to be raw. I'm going to put one more little spray of canola oil on here. Just a little. These vegetables have cooked for about 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. And I don't want to cook them much more than that. I just wanted to soften the broccoli just a little bit. And so we're going to turn the heat down to a lower setting, like in between low and medium. And we're going to add our 2 ounces of boar's head ham. I just eyeball it, roughly 2 ounces. There was one video where I actually measured myself guessing what 2 ounces was, and I was way low. It was like 1.1 ounce. And I learned how to use a food scale that day. You'll have to see my other videos for which one that one was. Okay, so I think that's about 2 ounces. Now to this pan, we are going to add our liquid egg whites. So 3 tablespoons of this has 25 calories. You have to give it a good shake. Little fun fact tidbit for you, there are 16 tablespoons in a cup. So let's measure out 1 cup. That's gonna be 16 tablespoons. So 3 tablespoons has 25 calories. 6 tablespoons has 50 calories. 9 tablespoons has 75 calories. 12 tablespoons has 100. So 12 tablespoons has 100 calories. 15 tablespoons would have 125 calories. So you can, we're not eating this all at once though, so it's not that many calories. You do the math on that, depending on how much you eat. So we have turned the heat down because we have eggs and ham in there now, and we're gonna put our shaken up egg whites right on top. I'm doing a full cup. Once it looks like it's all the way cooked through, we're gonna take it out of this pan because we're gonna put it in a Joseph's lavash wrap, and then we're gonna grill it. It's okay to stir it around a little bit. This is done and looking beautiful. So we cooked it just enough where there's not a lot of moisture in there, because for what we're about to do with it, it works a lot better if it's not too dry. But how beautiful is this? Both things we made tonight are so beautiful. At this point, we can go ahead and add the rest of our tomato that we didn't use. So we're just gonna put that right in there and mix it up. And then we're gonna let this cool off for about 5 minutes. You could consider adding some seasoned salt if you want to. I'm not going to, but that would be a nice flavor in here. What I'm going to add instead is some Mrs. Dash salt-free alternative. Final steps here. So I'm gonna be taking a Joseph's lavash bread. A serving size is half of this at 60 calories. So we're gonna be using 120 calories because we're using a whole wrap. And we're gonna make multiple of these because we are meal prepping. So we take the wrap, lay it out. I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm not a professional burrito wrapper. Feel free to comment and let me know how poorly I do wrapping this. But I'm gonna take my egg mixture that I did let cool off for about 5 minutes. It's still pretty warm. We're gonna put some in there. Nice little amount there. You could add a little bit of cheese if you want to. I don't, but you could. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to wrap this thing up. But before I do that, I just gave the same pan a little rinse. I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of olive oil in there, let that get warm. Say about a half a tablespoon for right now. I might add more later as I make more of these grillers. Don't try to make it too tight because they will rip. Tuck the ends under, and now we grill this thing, and we're going to get a little bit of char on it. You can fit 2 in a pan at a time. So that's about how much I put on there. Nice big pile. No, I never worked at any kind of Del Taco or Taco Bell or anything. I don't know how to wrap very well. But I've made these a million times and they never fall apart. I cook it on medium high. While I am waiting for the breakfast grillers to cook, I'm gonna eat one when it's done, but I had my first meal was so late in the day today, unintentionally. I just had so much to do. This griller is gonna be the last real food that I eat for tonight. So I have a little bit of wiggle room, calorie-wise. I drank a whole cup of almond milk earlier, bunch of water, a couple iced coffees. I am going to have one of these salted caramel mousse from Private Selection. I have not had these before. Each one is 210 calories, and they're so cute. They look so delicious, and I'm really excited to try this. This is gonna be good. I do love mousse. It's one of my favorite things. This is so good. Ready to flip. I'm gonna give a little spray of canola oil to flip them over, and hopefully they're nice and toasty. Oh yeah, perfect. That's exactly right. We're gonna brown them up on the other side, then let them cool off. Okay, you guys, these grillers are done, and I made 4 of them, and all I'm gonna do is wrap them in plastic. I'm gonna eat one of them now, but I'm gonna wrap them in plastic, and they will be meal prepped and ready to go this week. If you follow my channel, you will see me eating these later in the week, and what I normally do, I drizzle some Frank's Red Hot over it, and I put a little bit of light sour cream on it. If you stay tuned later throughout the week, you'll see exactly what that looks like, and that's it for me tonight. So I'm gonna have more water. That's the only thing I'm gonna have tonight, and then I'm gonna call it a day. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you wanna keep seeing what I eat every day. Bye.
I'm not your baby girl. I'm gonna